Alright, so I'm trying something new. I'm just gonna fucking read and hope that I don't stutter. And then I'm gonna listen to it afterwards and catch it. Might go on TikTok, I don't know. This is chapter 33 of Pierce's The Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. I sleep with the dream of the past, my hand curled in the tendrils of her hair. About us the veil lay quiet in slumber. Even the children do not yet stir. The birds rested on knotted limbs in the pinewood nearby, and I heard nothing but her breath and the crackling of the old fire. The bed smelled of her, and no scent of flowers or perfume, just the earthy musk of her skin, of the oils in her hair around her hand, of her hot breath as it warmed my cheek. Her hair was of our planet. It was wild like mine, dirty like mine, red like mine. A bird outside croons loudly, incessantly louder, and I wake, hearing someone at my door. Kicking aside sweaty sheets, I sit up on the edge of the mattress. Visually, a hollow appears of Mustang in the hall. I rise instinctively to let her in, but when I reach the door, appalled. We have our plan. There's nothing left to discuss at this hour, and nothing from which any good could come. I watch her on the hollow, shifting foot to foot, something in her hands. If I let her in, it'll just cost us both in the end. I've already hurt Roque, already killed Quinn in Tactus and Pax. Bringing her close now it would be selfish. At the very best, she survives this war and she learns the truth about me. I back away from the door. Daro, stop being an ass and let me in. My hands choose for me. Her hair is wet and loose, her uniform replaced by a black kimono. How fragile she seems next to Ragnar, who lurks in the hall. Told you, she says to Ragnar. To me, she says, knew you'd be awake. Ragnar here was being stubborn. Said you needed to sleep, and he wouldn't take the food I brought him. Do you need something? I asked, more coldly than I intended. Her feet make a show of shuffling nervously. I'm afraid of the dark. She pushes past me. Ragnar watches this, eyes giving me nothing away. I told you to go to bed, Ragnar. He does not move. Ragnar, if I'm not safe here, I'm not safe anywhere. Go to bed. I sleep with my eyes open, Dominus. Really? Yes. Well, do it. Well, do it in your bunk. Stained. That's an order. I say, hating the master's words as soon as they come from my mouth. Reluctantly he nods his head and slips silently down the hall. I watch him go as the door hisses closed. I turn to find Mustang inspecting my suit. It's more wood and stone than metal. The walls carved and worked with woodland scenes. Strange that efforts these people go in order to make themselves fulfill part of history and not a piece of furniture. Severo must be pissed he's not the only one lurking behind you anymore. Severo's grown up a bit since you last saw him. He even sleeps in beds. And she laughs at that. Well, Ragnar was so adamant I go away that I thought you might have company. You know, I don't use pinks. It's big. It's big, she says, of my suit. 6 rooms for little old you. Aren't you going to offer me something to drink? Would you? No, thank you. No, thank you. She tells the room's controls to play music. Mozart. But you don't really like music, do you? Not this sort. It's, stuffy. Mozart was a rebel, a brigand, a monolithic genius, a breaker of all that was stuffy. I shrugged. Maybe, but then the stuffy people got a hold of him. They are such a hayseed sometimes. I thought that Theodora would have managed to feed you some culture. So what do you like then? She runs her hands along a carving of an elk leading its herd. Not that electronic madness. The howlers thump their heads too. I hope makes sense that the Greens come up with that. It's like listening to a robot having a seizure. Have much experience with robots? I asked as she moves around the victory armor in the room, off to the side of the entry hall. The Sovereign gave it to me, the Ash Lord, when he burned Rhea's Mustang fingers. Play over the frost-hued metal. Father's oranges and greens had a few robots in their engineering labs. Ancient rusting things that father had refurbished and put into museums. She laughs to herself. He used to take me back there, back when I wore dresses and mother was still alive. Absolutely detested the things I remember. I remember mother laughing about his paranoia, especially when Adrius tried restarting one of the combat models from Eurasia. Father was convinced that robots would have overthrown man and now rule the solar system if Earth's empires had never been destroyed. I started out to laugh. What? What? She asked. I snicker quietly. I'm trying to imagine the great Archgovernor Augustus having nightmares of robots. A louder bout of laughter seizes me. Does he suppose they'd want more oil? More vacation time? Mustang watches me, amused. Are you alright? I'm fine. My laughters fade. I hold my stomach. I'm fine. I can't stop grinning. Is he afraid of aliens too? I never asked him. She taps the armor. But they are out there, you know. How long is it? Oh shit. I still got time. I stare at her. That's not in the archives. Oh, no. I mean, we've never found any. But the Drake-Roddenberry equation suggests that mathematically probability is n equals r times fp times ne times fl times fi times fc times l, where r is the average rate of star formations in our galaxy, where fp is the fraction of those stars that have planets. You're not even listening anymore. Well, what do you suppose that they would think of us? I asked of man. I suppose they would think we're beautiful, strange, and inexplicable, horrible to one another. She points down the hall. Is that the training room? She flips off her slippers and walks away down a manageable hall, casting a look back at me over the shoulder. I follow. Lights come mutedly to life as we pass, and she slips ahead faster than I care to follow. I find her moments later in the center of the circular training room. The white mat is soft under my feet. Carving line the wooden walls. The house of Geminus is an old one, she says, pointing to the friezes of man in armor. You can see the Ash Lord's first ancestors there, Senia o Grimius, the first gold to touch land in the Iron Rain that took the American Eastern seaboard after one of Cassius's ancestors, forget his name, broke through the Atlantic fleet. Then there is a Vitilla o Grimius, the great witch, right there. She turns to me. Do you even know the history of the things you try to break? It was Scorpio Oabella who defeated the Atlantic fleet. It was? She asked. I've studied the history, I say, just as well as you, but you stand apart from it, don't you? She paces around me. You always have, like you're an outsider looking in. It It was growing up away from all of your parents' Ashord's mind that did the trick, wasn't it? That's why you can ask a question like, what would aliens think of us? You're just as much an outsider as I am. I've read your dissertations. Have you? She's surprised. Believe it or not, I can read too. I shake my head. It's like everyone forgets I only missed one question on the Institute Slags Marks test. You missed a question? She wrinkles her nose as she picks up a practice razor from the bench. I suppose that's why you weren't in Minerva. How did Pax manage to get picked by the House Minerva, by the way? I've always wondered. He wasn't exactly a scholar. How did Roque end up in Mars? And she replies with a shrug. Each of us have hidden depths. Now Pax wasn't as bright as Daxo is, but wisdom is found in the heart, not the head. Pax taught me that. She smiles distantly. The one grace my father gave me after my mother died was letting me visit the Telemann estate. He kept Adritus and me apart to make assassinations of his heirs more difficult. I was lucky to be near them, though if I hadn't been, maybe Pex wouldn't have been quite so loyal. Maybe he wouldn't have asked to be in Minerva. Maybe he'd be alive. Sorry. Shaking away the sadness, she looks back to me with a tight smile. What do you think of my dissertations? Which one? Surprise me. The insects of specialization snap. A practice razor slaps into my arm, stinging the flesh. I yelp in surprise. What the hell? A Mustang stands there looking innocent, swishing the practice blade back and forth. I was making sure you were paying attention. Paying attention? I was answering your question. She shrugs. Alright. Perhaps I just wanted to hit you. And she slashes at me again. I dodge. Why? No reason in particular, she shrugs. I dodge. But they say even a fool learns something once it hits him. Don't quote. She slashes. I twist aside. Homer to me. Why is that dead dissertation your favorite? She asks, cooling, swinging at me again. The practice razor has no edge, but it is as hard as the wind cane. I leave my feet twisting sideways out of the way like a Loikos tumbler. Because I dodge another. When you're on your heels, you're a liar. On your toes, you spit truth. And she swings again. Now spit. She hits my kneecaps. I roll away, trying to reach the other practice razor, but she keeps me away from them with a flurry of swings. Spit. How much time do I got? I got like 4 minutes. I liked it. I jumped backwards because you said specialization makes us limited. Simple insects, a fact from which gold is not immune. She stops attacking and stares accusatorily, and I realize I've fallen into a trap. If you agree with that, then why do you insist on making yourself only a warrior? It's what I am. It's what you are, she laughs. You who trust Victra Ajoli, you who trust Tactus, you who let an orange give strategic recommendations, you who gives command of your ships as a docker, and keeps in entourage of bronzies. She wages a finger at me. Don't be a hypocrite now, Daro Adrotus. If you're going to tell everyone else that they can choose their destiny, then you damn well better do the same. She's too smart to lie, too. That's why I'm so ill at ease around her. When she asks me questions, when she probes things I can't explain, there's no explainable motivation to, so many of my actions, if I am really an Andromedas who gave up in my gold parents' asteroids mining colony. My history is hollow to her. My drive confusing. If I was born of gold, this must all look like ambition, like bloodlust. And without EO, I would be. That look, Mustang says. Take a step back from me. Where do you go when you look at me like that? The color slips away from her face, retreating into her as her smile slackens. Is it Victra? Victra? I almost laugh. No. Then her, the girl you lost. I say nothing. She never cried. She never even asked about EO. Not when we shared time together. After the Institute, when I was rising Lancer, and not when we rode horses at her family estate, or walked through the gardens, or dove in a coral reefs. I thought she must have forgotten. I whispered the name of another girl as I lay with her in the Institute snows. How stupid of me. How could she forget? How could it not linger there inside her, forcing her to wonder as she lay with her head on my chest while listening to my heartbeat. If I didn't belong to another girl, a dead girl. How much time? Fuck. Oh, fuck yeah, hold up. Yeah, silence isn't the right answer isn't the right answer now, Dara. The answer. Silence isn't the answer right now, Dara. After a moment, she leaves me alone in the room. Sounds from her feet fade. The mosaic disappears. I chase after her, reaching her before she finds the door to the hall. I grab her wrist. She flings me off. Stop it. I reel back, started. Why do you do this? She asked. Why do you pull me back if you are just going to push me away? Her fist ball like she wants to strike me. It's not fair. Do you understand that? I'm not like you. I can't just shut off like you do. I don't shut off. You shut me off. After the speech about Victra, about the importance of friends, she snaps her fingers in front of my face. You can still cut me away like that. You care, and then you don't. Maybe that's why he likes you so much. He? My father. He doesn't like me. How could he not? You are him. I back away from her and find rest on the edge of the bed. I'm not like your father. I know, she says, releasing some of her anger. That's not fair to you. But you will become him if you follow this path alone. She puts her hand on the door control. So ask me to stay. How can I let her? If she gives me her heart, I'll break it. My lie is too great to build a love upon. When she discovers what I am, she will reject me, even if she could survive that. I would not. I look at my hands as if the answer was there. Dara asked me to stay. When I look up, she's gone. Well, that's the ending of chapter 33. I might not post this, but I might. Actually, fuck it, I'm gonna post it anyway. I don't even know how many chapters I have. Well, this is 33. Sorry it's not the beginning, but hey, if anyone wants to listen to me stutter a little bit and read, there you go.